everyone, my name is Dawn and thank you for joining me today as I set up my bullet journal for 2026. So this year I'm using this gorgeous square notebook by typography. So this setup took me quite a while and I had over 10 hours of footage to edit. So please excuse the sped up format. We're running at 4 times the speed for most of the clips. I do slow it down for certain areas, but just to kind of get through it all, otherwise the video would just be hours long. If you are interested in seeing the full length video, I will be putting up the slow TV version with ASMR about a week after this goes up. And that's a full 8-hour cut of all of the spreads. So please do keep an eye out for that. So this year is the year of the horse in the Asian zodiac calendar. And I was a little bit of a horsey girl when I was younger. So I wanted to incorporate just a picture of a horse in our header here. So I've penciled in the year and I'm drawing these sparkles over the typeface I chose, which I showed just at the start there. I took inspiration from a stamp set that I have and I just enlarged the numbers. So I'm using a brush pen for all the line work, and it is the Zebra Smoky Brush pen, Zebra or Zebra, depending on what part of the world you come from. But I'm in the UK, so we say Zebra. I wanted a kind of fluid, non-rigid line for my lettering here, or numbering I should say, and just to kind of give it a more relaxed, kind of flowy feel. And in fact I was so relaxed I made what is probably one of the most common and heinous mistakes in the bullet journal world when setting up your annual setup. And you'll see very soon that I actually write the wrong date. Sometimes you can be so close to a project that you don't really see what's happening. So I don't know what happened here. I don't know why I wrote 2024. It isn't as if I had a lot of time to think about what I was doing, you know. And I don't notice for quite a while. Who knows? Who knows what happened there? So here we are. I'm using this rainbow foil wrapping paper that, where did I get it from? I think I got it from B&M, which is just like a bargain store here in England. And I got it way back in like October. I knew I'd want to use it for my journal, as well as wrapping presents for Christmas. I love rainbows, absolutely love them. So I know I wanted to incorporate it into my journal, and this seemed like the perfect time. So you saw me there, I just tore the paper. I wanted it to look almost like a mountainous landscape. And then I wanted to echo the shape a little bit, not so dramatic for this top left-hand extended corner piece. But as you can see, this paper, it wanted to tear in one direction and it didn't want to tear in the other. And the foil kept coming off. It was a little bit tricky. So I'm just kind of finagling it here to make it fit better. There we go. And we're going to use some glue tape just to adhere that to the page. I really, really like this paper though. I think the way the colours blend through those rainbow colours, I think it really is quite magical. And we all need a bit of magic in our life. I did restrain myself from turning the horse into a unicorn. I really like unicorns. I've seen a real one, in fact, but that's a different story. So I kept it as a horse, but you'll see when it comes to the colouring part, I still wanted it to feel a bit magical. So this right hand side just felt a little bit empty, and I was looking through my tapes and found this kind of nautical travel inspired magical PET tape set, which was from Journal Say, and I wanted to use that because I feel this year, which is 2026, not 2024, I feel like I'm going to be finding my way a little bit in this year. So it seemed apt. I wanted to use my metallic watercolour paints to fill in the date here. And I just went over the line a little bit, so I was using the back of the brush just to take up the extra paint, almost like the way you use an eraser on the end of a pencil. So the paint I'm using is the finetec pearlescent metallic colour set, and it has all the gold tones, and I believe I am using Arabic gold for the numbers, and then I go back in later and use the sterling silver for the sparkles. This watercolour set is absolutely stunning, and there is nothing that I have found other than maybe the Coloro set that have the same kind of luminescence and real kind of golden, shiny, reflective effect. Even better than any gold gel pens, which I am partial to a gold gel pen. But this has the best metallic effect that I have used so far. And that's why we're using it today. So what else can I say about these watercolours? Not much, other than they are really, really good. Another surprising factor, you can see just in the right hand top corner there, I have another metallic watercolour set. This set was just a cheapy little gamble from Temu. Yes, I am a little bit embarrassed to say that, but I don't shop on it very often, but I was getting something that I hadn't seen anywhere else. And I saw these and I thought, well, yeah, I'll take a punt. I'll take a gamble and let's see. And didn't use them. They sat on the top of my stationery drawer for maybe like 6 to 8 months. Used them in this setup. Well, first I did a little swatch. Did some swatches in my swatch book just to see how they were going to be. And to be honest, I thought they were going to be pretty atrocious. I wasn't expecting any kind of pigmentation or depth of colour or reflectiveness, and I was incredibly surprised because they came out really, really, really good. Really good. I just primed them in the same way that I do my finetec palette, and they were great. So if you've never used these kind of metallic watercolours before, you do need to prime them. You kind of need a decent creamy consistency for it to be nice and opaque. Otherwise it will be a little bit translucent. You'll still get the glittery metallic effect, but it just won't be as dense. So here I am painting in that 4 that shouldn't be there. And do you think I've noticed? Have I noticed? No. To me, in my mind, it was 2024. Maybe I just didn't want to, maybe I wanted to erase 2025 and go back to 24. Not that 24 was a great year, but it was better than 25 was, I'll tell you that. Okay, so moving on. We are now painting in the horse's mane, and I'm using that Timu metallic set. And yeah, it came out really, really nice. I was impressed. Good depth of colour, good reflectiveness. They blended together really well. So I was trying to mimic the colour blend that's on the wrapping paper that I've used. And I think I did a pretty good job. I think it was okay. Not 100% down to my technique. The palette worked really, really well. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. I still need a lot of practice with my painting, and that is on my list of goals for 2026, which is this year. So like I said earlier, I was a little bit of a horsey girly growing up, and like I'm sure many people that have come into bullet journaling at an adult age, I was really into art and drawing and painting. So I used to draw horses quite a lot. Horses were my go-to animal to draw. So hopefully this kind of, I went with like a cartoony representation, nothing too realistic, but the head is definitely stylized in a way that's very similar that I used to draw them when I was in school. It's funny how some things just come back to you. So we're continuing with the colour blend. That PET tape, I have just cut away the little section that covers the horse's mane so that I can continue the colour blend without the plastic of the tape getting in the way. And I did have a little bit of a mishap whilst I was cutting that out, so you can see there's a few damp areas on the page, and that's where I just added a little bit of water to lift off any smudges that I made, because I'm a mucky pup apparently and can't keep things nice. But the good thing about watercolour, even metallic ones, is if you get it where you don't want it, you only need to put a little bit of water down and apply a tissue, and it will generally lift off and not leave a huge amount of residue. So lucky, it didn't really stain the page too much. So we're just finishing off this little colour blend, and now there you go. It's a different day. I came back and I looked at it and I was like, what have I done? That's not the right date. I even showed it to my partner and just showing him the setup, and he didn't notice either. So yeah, the pair of us, I guess we were blinded by the rainbows. So I've penciled in the 6 over the 4, and I was thinking to myself, oh my God, how am I going to cover this? Maybe I can paint over, and I did a little test to see if the finetec gold would paint over the black and not show through, and it did pretty well. But then I was thinking about the centre of the 6. I didn't really want to use correction fluid over the watercolour. So here you go. I've just put a piece of paper over it, and I thought I was recording, but I wasn't. But I just painted in the 6. You didn't miss anything. It was the same as painting the other numbers in. I'm sure you can imagine. So there we go. We've got the right year on. Yays! And now I've gone back through that tape that I used on the side, as well as I think I used another tape that had stars in. And I've just cut out small pieces, made little stickers of small elements like stars and sparkles and little compasses, and I'm going to scatter these around the page just to kind of fill it out a little bit, because there's a lot of white space in the middle. I am a little bit of a maximalist, and I wanted just a little bit more sparkle on the page because I thought it was looking a bit dull. No, clearly it's not looking dull at all, but I didn't want all that white space, the negative space. So we're popping down a few stickers just to bring a little bit more sparkle to the page. And I promise you, they look a bit strange because of the lighting, because they're PET stickers or cut from a PET tape roll. They look like they're kind of grey on the page here, but they're not. In real life, they're clear, and you'll see when I lift up to show you the page that you can't really see the plastic. You mainly see the holographic stars and sparkles that are on the stickers. Oh, and I also filled in the horse's eye because I forgot how to draw an eye and I didn't want to muck it up. So I had to do a few sketches just to do a bit of research, had a look at some images just to work out how I wanted the eye, and filled that in when I felt confident enough. So here's your little public service announcement of you don't have to do it all at once. If there's an area you don't feel confident in, leave it, look it up and come back to it. It's fine. So I'm using the sterling silver shade from that finetec palette just to fill in the sparkles, and started out with my little pointy round brushes that again were from, I think they were from the same shop at Temu. And again, thought I'll try these. Probably not going to be very good, but actually they're awesome. They're a really, really good brush set. Very, very impressed. Obviously they're synthetic, but sometimes that's better depending on what you're doing. For these like fine points, they're great. And I even go in with a Crawford and Black fine bristle brush here. This little wooden one I'm using that was new from a set, thinking that one was going to be better because it's actually a smaller brush, and it wasn't. It was really, really just awful, really kind of bushy and not kind of pointed and together. And in the end I had to wet the brush and cut it with some really sharp scissors to create a point, and then it was usable. So that's me using it here. So don't be afraid to customize your brushes. Sometimes, some things don't fit your needs and you have to customize them, and that's all okay. It's all good. So there we go. That's the first page complete. Other than the title page, but we do come back at the end to do the title page, the nameplate page. So it looks so good. Look at the reflection on all of those paints and on the wrapping paper. Beautiful. Love it. Really shiny. Okay, so here we go. We're putting the paints away. Now, I knew that I wanted to do tabs. I talked about it in the review of this journal and the unboxing video. If you haven't seen that, go back on the channel and take a look at it. And I take you through everything about the journal and the paperweight, everything about it. So I knew I wanted to do tabs. I'd been having a little think about it. And then I remembered I had these punch tools, and they kind of punch out a border. And this one kind of punches out this kind of it's almost like a fleur-de-lis design. And then it has like a wavy line that it punches out as well. So I thought, oh yeah, why not use these? I'll use these to create my tabs. And it worked pretty well. The punch is quite stiff and clunky, so apologies if the camera is shaking when I'm like having to literally put my entire weight on the punch to make it go through the paper. It's 160 GSM paper though, so it's not like you're just stamping through printer paper, you know. It's got some heft to it, this notebook paper does. And the punch does perform pretty well, other than being stiff. Now, I don't know if this is unusual or not. When I've had a look at other journalers on YouTube doing their annual setups, they tend to only do like maybe like 3 or 4 pages or spreads for their annual setups. And I like to have a lot of pages, which is why this video was so long. So this is part of the reason why I thought, yeah, tabs would actually be really useful, because I use them a lot. And again, if you go back to the journal unboxing video, I talk about how I use my journal in that video when I'm talking about the tabs, and do a little flip through, and you'll see there's quite a few pages, because I like to keep track of, you know, things like what I'm reading, like watching, any recs, health, travel, as well as like the standard future log and trackers and things like that. So I thought tabs would definitely make it a little bit easier to navigate, so I'm not constantly flipping backwards and forwards looking for the pages that I'm needing. And I did think about using an index, because these pages are numbered in this Typography square journal. But I think I will still maybe use an index. If I do, maybe I'll put it on the first like nameplate page or something, I don't know. Maybe just for each month. But I won't need one for the annual setups, because I've put these tabs in. So there we go, we've used the punches, and now I'm gonna do my future log, which again is something that I use a lot. My memory isn't great, so I find it very useful. And I have decided this year that for my setups, I'm not going to have an overarching theme. I'm going to use what I've got. Last year I acquired a lot of stationery, and I have a lot of washi tapes, as you can see, and stickers. So I want to use what I have already. This set is I think it's a Chinese set, or maybe Japanese. I think it's Chinese. And I think I got it from Stationery Pal, maybe like a year or 2 years ago, and I haven't used it. And there's 100 washi tapes in there, so I really needed to use it. And I'm not sure if you're aware of the Coffee Monsterz company. They bring out all these lovely washi tapes and journaling kits, usually for hobonichis, but Helen, who runs it, she has a Facebook group and has free downloads on the Facebook group. So I downloaded her little mini calendars to use in my future log, and all the colours were quite pastel. I think she based her collection this year off of mild liners, so I wanted to match all my tapes and pens with the colours that are in these little mini calendars. If you haven't seen her stuff, you really should go and see. She draws all these really cute emojis, these little funny little people that are emoting different expressions and going through different things in their daily lives. And she's really good, and her videos on YouTube are so relaxing to watch. Her voice is so calming. I love it. So even though I don't keep a Hobonichi diary, I still really enjoy watching her videos. And she has fountain pen inks as well. So I printed these little mini calendars out. Sorry, that was a bit of a tangent. Printed these mini calendars out with my sprocket, and I was running low on paper, so I had to be quite conservative with how I printed them out, and that's why some of the pages are in 2 parts, and some don't align brilliantly because I was playing around with the setups and the sizing, but it's fine. We'll make do. I don't mind. So we're getting all these little sticky notes of the calendars down. Please excuse the crazy focus issues. I was having lighting issues during this setup because it was filmed over consecutive days and many days, and the lighting was very variable because I was using natural lighting for some and my studio lighting for others. And here in the UK, it's winter now. The sun is really low. I mean, you get, golden hour lasts about like 4 hours when you get sunlight, when you do get sunlight here in the UK, but it's very low. So you can see here the shadows and the lighting goes a little bit wonky, but it's okay. We got it done. You just saw me using my swatch book to match the pens with the calendars, and now I've selected my tapes and I'm just putting a little strip of each washi tape above each calendar. I tried to, as well as matching the colours, because I don't know, I am the way I am, I guess. I also wanted to match the seasons a little bit. So I picked kind of wintry shades for and themes for January, February, and then for March some sakura, for April some rain clouds, for April showers, and summery prints for May and June, and so on. So I'm slightly off frame here, but it does correct. Don't worry, bear with it. There we go. And now I'm going to go in and do a second line highlight under each of these calendars with a corresponding shade. So here I'm using the Tombow dual brush pen in the shade 491, which is this really very delicate, beautiful light blue shade. And it's so delicate and light that I'm going over each line twice, just so that it has a bit more definition. And here I'm using one of the Crayola Colours of the World pens, and the shade is very light rose. Next up we're using Crayola Super Tips in the pastel shades, and it's the very light blue shade from that pastel set. These Crayolas don't have names for their shades or numbers as far as I can tell, so just know that they're all from the Pastel Super Tips set. This one is the Sunshiny Type Yellow, and then this is the very pale green. And then that's our first spread done for the future log, and we turn the page and get started on the second spread, which is pretty much the same as the first. I'm going to put the sticker calendars down, just spacing them out, and then just like before I'm going to place some corresponding washi tapes over each of the calendars, and then do the second line highlight underneath. And just see me using this little hack for cutting the washi tape with a steel ruler. It kind of works with any ruler, to be honest, and this is something that I saw, again, Helen from the Coffee Monsterz Co. I saw her do it on one of her videos and was like, that's a smart idea. You get a nice clean edge, but it's faster than using scissors, and it doesn't look the same as like a cut edge. It does look a little bit more rustic, I'd guess, but it's not rough. You can tell that it's been torn against an edge rather than cut with a blade, and I really like that. Plus it's super fast. So here we go, finishing with that snowflake theme washi for December. I'm using this oatmeal shade. This is from the Crayola Colours of Kindness fine liner set, and it is just called oatmeal. That fine liner set from Crayola is a brilliant set for using in your journal. All the colours are really pastel, muted, but really pretty, and the pens are really, really useful. I get a lot of use out of those. So we've gone back to that sunshiny yellow, and then I'm using the Mint Tombow dual brush pen in the shade 243, and then back to Crayolas, and this is a more kind of acidy greeny yellow from the pastel set. I think all of these super tips were from the pastel set. And this one is back to that blue shade, and then we've got another Colours of the World chubby Crayola felt tip pen marker, and this one is in light golden, and we finish off with the Tombow 491. So there we go, that's the 2 future logs done, and then we're coming on to the next spread, which is my health spread. So I'm not doing any trackers for the health aspect this year. I don't think I'll get any use out of it. I found it quite tedious to try and do the year in pixels type tracker that I set up last year, and it didn't really help. So instead, I'm creating a space to write down any important health bits and bobs that I need to put down, whether it's appointments or just observations. It'll all go down here. And I'm using the acrylic stamp set that I used for inspiration for the date at the very start of the journal, as well as my alphabet stamps, which I was having a bit of a hard time. The whole stamping thing was a bit of a struggle bus, to be honest, because again, like I said about the finetec watercolours, it's difficult to get a good gold. It really is. I've got several gold stamp pads and none of them really kind of hit the way I wanted them to. So I ended up going back, as you can see, using a gold gel pen. This is a Signo, I think, just to go over the stamps and just bring a little bit more shine and luster to the page. And then again, issues with the stamps. I think it's been a while since I've used alphabet stamps, so I was doing them all wonky. So here comes the trusty Tipp-Ex just to tidy up the misstamped areas. And then I'm going in with a Crayola, doing the second line highlight. And this is with that same pastel blue Crayola Super Tip marker that we used earlier. So I like to use a second line highlight because not only does it fill the page, makes the page look a little bit more decorated, but also it is useful when you're writing, just to kind of keep everything orderly, and it just looks a little bit neater. So this is still in the realm of health for this page, and I'm going to be making a little section where I can keep track of my weight loss. I am on a weight loss journey this year, I swear. So I want somewhere where I can just keep track of how I'm doing and note down any losses, as well as what worked, what didn't, that sort of thing. Then here on the other side of the page, I am including a little meals, I'm not going to call it a tracker, more of a table, just somewhere where I can record a list of maybe 14 different meals and their calories, so that again it's going to help with the weight loss. So I've picked out some stickers I want to use and some washi tape. That washi tape was a set from Amazon, but I think you can get it in lots of places, and it's quite pretty. I used it quite a lot last year. And these kind of celestial vibe PET stickers were from Journal Say. So I'm just playing around, seeing what I like, where, again, going in with the Tipp-Ex just to correct any areas that were mis-stamped, where the stamps weren't aligned properly. And then I'm using that oatmeal fine liner from the Colours of Kindness set by Crayola, just to draw a very small table here on the side, just to have a place to note down my weight and the date of each weighing in any comments. And then I'm drawing a larger table here on the right, and this is going to be where I list those meals. So I was just counting down, thinking how many lines do I want for each day. So I've put 3 lines per day, and there are 7 days for the 7 days in a week. And then I kind of thought, well, I'm probably going to want to list more than 7 meals, because that just sounds really boring. I don't like eating the same thing all the time. So I split it down the middle and then gave myself twice as much space. And then all there is to do is to make a little section just to note the calorie count, and that's it. We'll just get the stickers down, finalize their placements. And one of my cats has just decided to join us for the voiceover. So if you hear the rumbling purring, that's Pikachu in the background. So I wanted a little bit more sparkle on the page, and I found these holographic celestial, I think they're border stickers. They were from Journal Say. I don't know if they're still in stock. I bought them over a year ago, but if they are in stock, I'll put a link down below. I do have a discount code for Journal Say. I believe it's Dawn 8 or Dawn 10. I'll list all the discount codes below. Anyway, I also have one for Typography, the makers of this journal, and that's definitely Dawn 10. So we're just going to pop a second line highlight here, using the Tombow in that mint green shade. 243, and then we are on to our next spread. So I decided to start off with the washi tape this time, mainly because I wasn't really decided on the layout of the boxes I was going to use. I wanted to get a bit of decoration down and just work the boxes around the decoration. So I am using these moon kitty stickers, and they're a bit holographic as well. These were from Journal Say, and they have like a bit of texture on top of the stickers, so they're quite nice. The black print is kind of raised. And here I am using my gel pen with my acrylic stamp, because I've given up on the stamp pads, and just going over with the pen just to bring out the detail that might have not quite got stamped. And this is going to be my memories spread. So again, in the Tifosi unboxing video, I talked a little bit about this spread and whether I would be using it in the same way as I'd planned for last year. Last year I set it up, but the plan was to print out pictures for each month, and I didn't get around to doing that. So during the unboxing video I was thinking maybe I'll set it up in a slightly different way. But turns out I actually did end up printing photos off for each month and putting them in, and it was quite satisfying to do so. So yeah, I kind of changed my mind a little bit about that. You just saw me give up on the letter stamps because they were just misaligning so badly. I wasn't happy, and I'd kind of come to the conclusion that I could just hand letter it and it would look better, in my opinion. So I just popped a piece of paper over the area I'd stamped and just hand lettered emeries, because we've already got the M there. So now I'm using the same gel pen to just plot out 12 boxes, or frames I should say, across the spread. And the idea being that in these boxes there'll be a box for every month, and in the boxes I can record either one or two really, strong memories from each month, something good that happened, maybe something bad, or best to focus on something good, and or put a photograph in as well. So there's space for both. So we get the best of both worlds. And I decided to use the gold gel pen because although I'm kind of just plotting out the boxes here, you'll see that I do go in, draw extra lines around the boxes to make frames, quite thick frames around each box. The idea was that it would be kind of like a picture frame. Not quite as ornate as some picture frames, but yeah, just to frame off. And here I'm using my grid guide ruler just to find the center. It's quite handy. This notebook is the same width and length as an A5 is long, if that makes sense, because it's the same height as an A5 notebook. The width is just about a third wider. So the grid ruler still works, which is nice. So what else can we say about this page? Yeah, I think we've covered pretty much everything. I do start using the gold gel pen to colour in the frames, but it was pretty tedious because you're having to be careful not to smudge the gel pen as well as you go. So I pretty soon do decide that it's actually going to be faster to use the gold watercolour and a steady hand. So I do that instead, you will see. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to using this spread. I think it'll be really useful. It's nice to have a memories spread or some kind of memory keeping where you can look back at the highlights from each month. Particularly if you have, like if you have bad times or difficult times, let's say, it's good to be able to look back on the good times, or even look back through the year and pick out all the good points each month. It can really kind of change your mindset about how the year was. Even if you've had a really, really rubbish year, you should be able to pick out at least one thing a month that was good, even if it's something small like a picture of one of your pets or something a family member said or did, something small like that. So the eagle-eyed viewers may have noticed I've switched gel pens. The first Signo gel pen gave up on me, so this is the Pilot 07, I believe. And seriously, I used so much of this gel pen doing these setups. I'm amazed that it's still going, so well done, Pilot. Particularly colouring all these frames in. I'm just using the ruler there so that I can be a little bit more loose with the colouring. I'm just having to keep my eye on one side to keep it within the lines. Just makes it a tiny bit easier. And I think this was the point where I thought to myself, you know what, I'm just going to draw everything in, and then I'm going to hit it with the finetec Arabic Gold watercolour. And it does, it works really well. Really pleased with it. So let me know, are you thinking about including any memory keeping in your journal this year, whether it's in a specific spread like this one, or maybe you're going to just do a little bit of memory keeping at the end of each month in your monthly setups? I'd be interested to know. So here we go, we're going in with that Arabic Gold from the finetec palette. And look at the shine. It's so shiny. You can really see against the gold gel pen there how it's outshining, literally outshining the gold gel pen. And it is a really nice shade as well. You'd be amazed at how many different shades and tones of gold there are. It's incredible. This one is really, really nice. It's very deep. And again, using that little round brush performs really well. Great brushes. Can't say enough about them really. And remember, this is sped up, so this is still sped up to about 4 times because the length of the setup was just insane. So I am going much slower and a little bit more carefuler, or more careful than it appears. So yeah, when I was thinking of planning my annual setup, I was kind of thinking, oh, what theme should I use? What have I got already? I'd looked at like a few stationery suppliers over like the Christmas period, looking at sales and stuff, and I just was really hit by this whole like over consumerism, like just we buy so much, don't we? Those of us that can afford it, but even then, like a lot of like the stickers that are coming from the East now are so well priced and so cheap that they can pretty much fit into any budget. And yeah, it just occurred to me the amount of waste, the shipping, it's just all a little bit unnecessary. And this isn't to say that I'm never going to buy stickers or washi tape again, because you know that would be insane, but I am a little bit more aware now, so I just decided, like, well, just use what you've got, Dawn. You've got so much stuff. Like, each time I'd use a sticker pack for, say, a monthly spread, there's always some left over. And are you going to use them again? Probably not, because I don't like to repeat themes. So I just thought, like, just do a kind of random theme setup where each page is just its own elements and it isn't really part of a whole. There might be some things tying certain elements together, like I'm repeating the use of some washi tapes and I'm repeating the watercolours, but overall not everything has to be like super duper matchy matchy, and it's a good idea to use what you have. So whilst I was getting, I've gone in and just painted in freehand, which was rather daring, and you can tell by some of the lettering, just the first initial of each month at the top of each of these boxes. And then, because some of the lettering was a little bit sketchy, I went over with a 04 Pigma micron just to make it a little bit more clear, each letter. And with that being done, we are on to our next spread. So I've got a rough idea of what I want to do here. I've laid down some decorations first, just spacing everything out. And this is a spread that I really do enjoy using throughout the year, and it's going to be my watching and reading spread. So this is where I'll record any media that I'm watching. Kind of helps with not only as memory keeping, looking back on, you know, films and TV shows that you enjoyed in the past, but also keeping track of series that you've watched and how far along you've got with them. Although I will say the streaming platforms do a pretty good job of remembering what you've watched and what you haven't watched, but sometimes it doesn't work, or sometimes you might cross platforms, watch some on one and some on another. It can be a bit chaotic, so this is where I'll be keeping track of everything. And for the reading, I just like having somewhere where I can list off in one place the books that I'm currently reading, even though I keep a reading journal. But this is like a condensed form. There's no reviews or anything. It's just literally a list of what I'm reading. So once again, we've used the acrylic stamps for the initial of each word, and then going in and just doing a little hand lettering, just in kind of a loose script style. And then coming in with this washi tape, and this was from the Archer and Olive Library quarterly subscription collection, subscription box, that's the word I'm looking for, which was not last year, the year before. So what was that? Oh look, 2024. What a coincidence. So it was a really nice subscription box, that one was, from Archer and Olive. And then coming over to the watching side of the page and just doing a second line highlight. And I've just picked out the purple shade from, again, the Crayola Super Tips pastel set. I pretty much have, I think I've got every single Crayola pen, but the pastel ones are more suited towards the second line highlights, so that's what we're using in this setup. And then coming over to the reading side, and we are using the biscuity shade of the Tombow Duo brush pen, and that's in the number 992. And it really does give this kind of library, old book pages vibe. It's a really lovely shade. So once we've finished off these second line highlights, all that's left to do is to tidy up the other side and then turn the page, and then we're on to our next spread. So this next spread is going to be for recommendations. It's a split spread. I'm saying spread, really it's 2 pages. So the left hand page is going to be for recommendations, and that's for books, TV shows and films. And the other side is going to be for hobbies. So again, using that gold gel pen just to pick out the details on the stamped out initial and hand letter, the rest of the word. So yeah, like I said before, I like to have somewhere where I can just collate everything for the year, and that's my bullet journal basically. This sticker was from Journal Say, from one of their sets, and I'm just using more of the holographic celestial border stickers that I've kind of cut up. And then I remembered that I haven't put any on the previous spread, so we turn the page and I'm just adding these constellation stickers over the titles, just to add a little bit of pizzazz to the page. There we go. So yeah, I like to have somewhere where I can just note down any recommendations. I'm sure I've mentioned before, my memory can be a little bit spotty, so it's better for me to write things down. And then if I'm ever at a point where I'm running out of things to watch or read, I can look back at my list and be like, okay, this is meant to be good, or this is coming out soon, let's watch this, yeah? And we're just using that biscuity Tombow for the second line highlight on these 3 columns for the recommendations. See, I know some people like to keep a long-term journal or a companion to keep everything in for things like this, but I do like to track it annually. Once again, I know I said earlier about the lighting. This low sun is just killing me, so please do excuse the shadows. I am trying to keep the working areas out of the shadows, but that's, you know, I'm filming right in front of my window, and that's one of the window pane frames that are just causing that shadow. So there isn't really much I can do about it other than not film during the daytime, but it is what it is. So again, just placing down a piece of washi tape from that set from Amazon, the Celestial set. And I'm just going through my sticker collection, picking out anything that I think might be appropriate. So I was given a glass painting kit for my birthday in December. So I definitely know that, like, under these hobbies, I definitely want to do a bit of glass painting. So I thought these stained glass window stickers were very, very appropriate. So we're using those. And I was also given a rock tumbler. I mean, it's just feeding the hobby beast at this point. So I know I'm going to be doing some like crystal tumbling as well. So I had these crystal stickers. Again, all these stickers were from Journal Say. They were part of a big haul that I just kind of treated myself to. I think it was in January last year. And I've had them for quite a while. I've used them in various setups. Again, it's all the odds and sods that are left over. So yeah, I know I want to do, I want to do a lot more hobbies this year. My hobby spread in my 2025 journal was very sad and depleted and hardly had any entries because I was just so ill. I couldn't do anything. I could barely keep up with my journal. So I am starting to feel a little bit better. So fingers crossed that that carries on through. And I'm able to do lots of hobbies in the new year. So we're going to need a place to keep track and write them all down so that when I'm 80, I can pull this journal out and be like, oh, look what I was doing in 2026. I wonder what I did with my rock tumbler. Go and dig that out. So next page, the focus is just freaking out here. I do apologize. I think it's the light or something was happening with my camera. It does settle down in a little bit. Please do bear with it. There we go, it's a little bit better. Okay, so rambling aside, we're on to our next spread. And again, this is going to be another split spread. We're going to have on the right hand page, then versus now. So this is an idea. I took inspiration from Jashi Corinne from her channel. She does quite an extensive annual setup as well. So maybe that's where I got it from. But yeah, so she has this setup where you kind of list off in one column everything that you're into or enjoying or doing at the start of the year, and then at the end of the year you answer the same prompts. And it's really good to compare. It's quite interesting to compare how some things change and some things don't. So I included this in my setup last year and enjoyed it, so I thought I would include it this year as well. So it looks a little bit strange with just the stamped TVN, but it's then versus now. I'm just going to draw in a thick gold bar, and this is going to separate each of the answers, and then I'll write in a prompt along the bar for each line. And I will do that a little bit later when I think of them, because I haven't thought about what I want to write yet. And coming over to the other side, this side is going to be a content planner. So this is a new addition for me. I only started filming videos for YouTube last year. I was running stuff on my Instagram channel, which is also Bujos at Dawn, and a little bit on TikTok, which is also Bujos at Dawn. But I decided I wanted to try longer format videos. So I thought that having a comprehensive content planner where I can have a space to write down video ideas and then check off along the lists of when they were filmed, edited, any backing music added, thumbnail done, voiceover, etc., and posted, just helps kind of give you an idea of where you are in planning. So I am hoping to be able to upload more videos this year. So I've allowed plenty of space just to get in long format as well as short format. And I'm just colouring in a really thick frame around the outside of this table. So again, a little bit like the meal planner that I made earlier, this is going to be in 2 columns, just to give me that little bit of extra space. So there's 2 main columns, and within those 2 columns there's a space to write the video, and then spaces to mark off when each stage of the process has been completed, with a little icon as well. Wow, this focus, I'm so sorry. I don't know why, it must have been the light. I don't know why it was doing that, or it wasn't set to the page. But yeah, so here we go. It'll be good to have somewhere to keep track of any video ideas and when I'm posting them, rather than doing it like I could set up each month, and I have for the last couple of months, but then it's kind of lost. You know, I think it'd be nice to have somewhere where you can see it all together in one place. That would be really nice. So now we've got the main table in, I can just go in and finish off with the decorations. So again, using one of the washi tapes from that set from Amazon, the Celestial set, and some of the cut up Celestial borders. And then I kind of felt like I wanted some more stars, like a golden tone rather than just the holographics. Listen to her. So I cut some out of that moon PET tape, which was also from Journal Say. So basically anything that's plastic in this video and sticky, it was from Journal Say. And then that finishes us up with that spread or those pages. So we turn the page. And now this next page is going to be just a free form space for travel. I'm hoping to do a little bit more traveling this year. And I want a place to help plan for any adventures we're going on or holidays. So this is mainly going to be for the planning. It's not really going to be for memory keeping. When I do go away, I take a traveler's notebook with me, and that's my travel journal. And that's where I keep, you know, a record of what we do and memories and scrapbooking and junk journaling. So this is just going to be for the planning, really. and ideas, travel ideas. Now, I told a fib. These plastic PET stickers were actually from a tape roll, and they weren't from Journal Say. This was a free gift from Stationery Pal. And they're just kind of seasidey nautical themes. So that's it for that page. Very simple. I just wanted to leave lots of space for the planning. And this page is going to be similar. It's a free space. And it's going to just have a little minimal bit of decoration. And I'm not even putting a title to this page because it's not ready yet. It's not ripe. When it's ripe, it will get a title. Or not. Who knows? So just simple. Just 3 stickers. That little Baba Yaga house sticker on legs that's walking across the scenic. It looks like the tundra, doesn't it? Is from a sticker set that was from Stationery Pal, I think. I've had it a long time. There we go. That's it for that spread. So next up, this is going to be the gardening and DIY spread. So I'm hoping to do a little bit more gardening this year. God, listen to me. I'm hoping to do lots this year, aren't I? We'll see. Let's see how that goes. We can start out with good intentions. And I've pulled out these sticker sheets. And these sheets are from Ikigai papir. That's Mochi Bujo on YouTube, her sticker shop. And I'm just pulling out gardening and floral related stickers that are going to help. The PT Garden Library sticker there was from Journal Say. The washi tape, I think, was from the Stationery Pal. Had it ages. But these girl stickers are from Mochi Bujo's shop. And I quite liked how they're kind of in steps, like in heights, different heights. So I placed them like that so it kind of looked like they were kind of talking to each other. There we go, just quickly using those stamps to get the G for garden down, hand letter the rest of the word, and DIY. So yeah, this is just going to be a space where I can just make any notes about the garden. Previously, I used to do like a whole garden plan, and I'd like do basically like a blueprint of the front and the back garden and mark out what I was planting where, and it was all a bit much really. I don't think I need to do that this year. It's mainly just to jot down any ideas, have a few things that are in pots that need to be planted out, so it's just to keep track of that really. And I'm just using some small floral and butterfly elements that are from various sticker sheets from Mochi Bujo, from Header. And this washi tape was from Journal Say, I think, along with the door sticker. And I didn't like how you could see through that door sticker, see the tape through it. So I've just taken a piece of paper, cut it to the shape of the arch, and stuck it to the back of the sticker and stuck the sticker down, just to make it a little bit more opaque. And then I put this guy down. He's a vinyl sticker from Ikigai Papir. And this girl that's doing like mopping, she was from a washi tape set. no, not a set, sorry, just a wide washi tape. That was from, wow, I can't remember. Maybe Stationery Pal. It was a long time ago anyway, so it's probably not even in stock anymore. And I'm just dotting around some sparkles that were from leftover from a sheet of stickers from ikigai papir. And then we're done with that spread. And next up, we're using these mushroom stickers. And this is the last spread in the whole setup. And this is going to be it's a goals oriented spread. So on the left hand side, we're doing goals. And on the right, we're doing something called 26 in 26. So again, this is an idea taken from Yoshi Korean. And you basically think of 26 things you want to do in the year of 26. So this is pretty achievable as long as you keep your goals achievable, obviously. Like I said earlier, there are lots of things I want to do or want to be able to do this year. So that's where I'll place those. And I ran out of memory, so here's a screenshot of what that looked like. And we're moving on now to painting the tabs, which was speed running through these. So I used the watercolour metallic set that I started the setup with. That set from Timu. And I'm just going through and using all the colours that I used in the horse's mane, if you remember back that far, just to echo through the setup. So just going through, and I'm painting the back of each tab the same colour as the front. I did toy with the idea of kind of staggering it a little bit, but I figured this was going to be the best way forward. And the colours came out really nicely. Incidentally, this T30 notebook is taking the watercolour very, very well. Sometimes I'm going quite wet with it, and the page hardly buckles. It's considering it's not watercolour paper, I'm very impressed with it. So another tick in the box for T30. They are incredible notebooks. This is the first one I've had, and like I said in my review, which you can watch on the channel, ultra thrilled with this one. It's beautiful. This is the Tree of Life notebook, and they do it in lots of different sizes, not just square. They do A5, and I think they do B6 or A6. But they do lots of different sizes, and you can have lots of interiors as well, so it doesn't have to be the dots. It can be lined or plain. So I'm just using my Pigma Micron here to write over the tabs, and it writes really well over the watercolour. And I'm just writing the title for each page on the tabs. It's going to make navigating a little bit easier. I did toy with the idea of using gold, but I figured black is just going to stand out and be a little bit easier to read. So going through each page. And yeah, so I'm really looking forward to using this notebook and all the pages I set up. I still haven't done my January setup, but I will over the next few days, and that will be going up on the channel. So if you haven't already, go take a look. And as we're on the recommendations page, if you have any books or shows that you would like to recommend, pop them down in the comments below. I'm always looking for new recommendations, particularly for reading. I like to read lots of different genres, so always interested to see what other people are reading as well. Same thing goes for any goals or aspirations you may have for this coming year. Feel free to share them in the comments. I don't like to call them resolutions. I think just aims is a good general descriptor. So there we go. We've got to the last page of our tabs. And all that's left now is to do the backs of the tabs. This was a bit confusing. I was like, do I want to write the page that I'm on or the page that's following, if you follow me? I think I went with the page that I was on, thinking if I'm tabbing backwards, then it'll make more sense to do it that way. So these are the things you don't really think about until you come to do them. It's quite interesting. So that's all our tabs done now. All that's left is to go back to that very first page, the nameplate page, and I'm just going to letter in a very, very loose copperplate-ish stylization for my name, which is Dawn, hence Bujo's at Dawn. And as I'm using that gold Pilot gel pen, I'm just going to thicken the downstrokes and keep the upstrokes thin. So it's more faux calligraphy rather than real calligraphy. And I think for timing wise, the initial writing of my name was in normal speed, and then the rest was in twice as fast. So all that we have left for now is the flip through. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of the video. I hope this video gave you some inspiration, some ideas. Please do share below your theme if you used one for your journal this year, or even if you are keeping a bullet journal this year, or if maybe you're doing something different, maybe you're using a planner. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye.